As the tensions are yet again escalating, I wanted to give you a live update here from Ukraine. Now, apparently, yesterday evening, Russian President Vladimir Putin has ordered troops into separatist held parts of eastern Ukraine, what the Kremlin is calling a peacekeeping mission. Now, it is unclear if Russia's troop movement marked the beginning of an invasion of Ukraine. But anyway, I want to give you a little bit of an insight about how it is to live here currently, what's going on the streets, what does it look like in Kiev, and then give you just like my 2 cents on the dollar on how this story is going to unfold. First things first, now this is a live cam from Kiev, and as you can see here, it's pretty normal. The sun is shining, people on the street, lots of cars. So the sentiment of the people here are not really any different. But what I think is going to go on is perhaps a proxy war. Let's just run through what the international media is saying, because they are sure on fire. Let's start with CNN. Well, they're basically just saying, right, that Russia is basically invading Ukraine. And there is some legal terminology in that, if that is the truth, and also try to read between the lines of what Putin is saying. But they are very obviously very aggressive. And you can see the US expects Russian troops could move soon into Donbass, a senior US official familiar with the latest intelligence said. Al Jazeera, and here we can say that Russia-Ukraine live updates Western nations to impose sanctions. I mean, it doesn't matter where you look in the international media, they make it look, I would say, worse than it is. Now let's see what these sanctions are going to be. You probably also know and heard that Sleepy Uncle Joe is also talking about sanctions. Now, a little bit worrying this is from the Guardian UK, and here we got the UK minister says invasion has begun as Putin orders troops over border. Now, I think that as of the moment, I think it is still unclear if the Russian military have actually already crossed the border. And here we got the New York Times, and this is actually maybe a little bit of a positive article. President Biden has agreed in principle to meet the Russian leader if there's no invasion. Mr. Biden has stepped up his warnings about Moscow's plans after seeing evidence that an attack on Ukraine was imminent. So why don't we just hope that this could be, that they can meet just like we had it in the Cuba Missile Crisis, right? It was also until last minute, and thank God. But at that time, it was a nuclear war, and where now everything is a little bit different. And when I talk about proxy war, I'm going to show you here in this presentation. Now, first of all, when you usually see a map of Ukraine, you usually see something like this, right? So here we go. We can see what is here pink or light red. That is actually the Donbass region. These are the areas or the oblasts that are held by the Russian pro-separatists. Now, but if you look at it like that, right, it looks like, that's half of Ukraine, right? That's what it looks like. But in reality, if you go in and look at and I just want to go back and see, this is with courtesy of Reuters, right? Now, if you go in and take a picture from Shutterstock, and we look at the map of the war in Ukraine, we can actually see that the region, Luhansk and Donetsk, is not as big a part of Ukraine as it might seem on this picture. I just wanted to point that out. Not that in any way, shape, or form justifies anything. And again, I'm not on anybody's sides. I'm just trying to cover what's going on here. The next thing that I wanted to show you, I have shown you this before, but this is actually, the red is the pro-west. You could say this is the western part of Ukraine, and the eastern part, which is blue. These are the areas, the regions, the oblasts, states that are actually pro-Russia. These are the states that elected a pro-Russian government. So, you could still, who's right, who's wrong? That's the big question. I have shown you this slide before, and I want to go through this one more time, because Ukraine won the independence in 1991, right? And then they had the first official elections in 2004, and a pro-Russian party won. But lost, because then 1 year later, we had the Orange Revolution, which was actually more pro-Western. And then in 2010, we had again pro-Russian party won, but again, a revolution was successfully installed. So you could say that maybe from Putin's point of view is that, come on guys, I've had enough. This is areas of Ukraine, former Soviet. They want to be a part of Russia. We need to get them independent so we can get elections going. But that's also not really my main point. My main point is, it is clear that Russia have said they don't want to give up these regions. I mean, they're small regions, but they don't want Ukraine to get into NATO. But at least they want the Donbas region to be a part of Russia, and the people there want it too. So I don't know. I don't understand why Russia would invade entire Ukraine. I also don't think that Russia would go into a part of the country where they're not welcome. So I think, and that's why I've been calling it a proxy war, I think that this could perhaps just, shame on all big countries and nations that will even start this war, because this could have fatal implications for these two states, just like we saw in Syria, right? And like we saw in Libya. In Syria, I forgot the name of the city, but there was one city that really got completely bombed, and I fear this is what could happen. So the rest of the country could be okay, but they're really not going to benefit from a war there. So let's have a look at the markets. If we look at the overall market, it's only down 0.76%. And if we look at Bitcoin, it's down 0.14, Ethereum down 0.86. And have a look at Bitcoin, because I think if we look at it on a daily, we can see it's actually recovered quite good, right? It was down all the way to 36,500. So it seems that the crypto market took a hit yesterday and has been recovering since. If we look at the Dow Jones, we can see that it is down 307 point almost 1%. But we are seeing a similar pattern that actually it has retraced here since beginning of the day. Stay safe and don't think too much. It can cause depression. And in case you like, I gave you any kind of value, well then please hit like, smash, subscribe. And in case you're here for the Russian-Ukrainian news, well then you should subscribe so that you can educate yourself about the cryptocurrency market, because that's actually where I'm home. Take care.